Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're with us on this Friday morning, wrapping up the first week of 2024. We made it through this week, so let's take a look at our weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard and a hard-working crew, taking care of everyday comfort needs. And we're going to talk about the rain. Supposedly, they've got it arranged now, where the rain's going to come in tonight, rain all during the night, storm and all that, and we're going to get on out of here by tomorrow. That's a perfect situation, perfect scenario. So we'll wait and see if it happens. But there's about 100% chance of rain. I don't know about you, when these weather fronts come through with the radars and everything like they are, I love tracking them when out there in Texas or whatever, and then see if someone break up and all. I've always thought I'd be a good amateur meteorologist. I've always been fascinated with the weather. But let's move on. High today, actually getting up to 65 and low 58. Not much air temperature change. Water temperature is down to 58.5. It dropped a degree. River readings brought to us by Panama City Coca-Cola. The Apalachicola Bluntstown is a 3.4. It's steady. The Choctaw at Caryville is at a 3.5. They're like twin readings this morning. Now, we know what's going to happen in Choctawhatchee if that rain comes in heavy tonight. We know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be rising pretty fast. But before it starts rising, it'll be a good time to get out there. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We're looking at the low tide at 4:05 this morning, high tide at 4:39, right at 12 hours right there. On Friday, we'd like to do our fishing game times during this segment, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. We're looking at 5:35 to 7:35 this morning, this evening from 5:57 to 7:57. Our wind will become an east-southeast at about 12. It's going to be pretty stormy tonight, and it's going to swing on through, so just batten down the hatches for tonight, okay? We'll take a break and be right back. Okay, welcome back. We're going to start off with some sad news this morning. Our good friend, Scott Lindsay, has passed away. I got a call from Stan Kirkland, and I was really shocked. I talked to Scott during Christmas and right before Christmas, and Gail always baked him a pound cake, and I always take it to him. And this time he had a doctor's appointment, so I had left it at his house, but got to talk to him. We talked on a regular basis. Scott was my friend, and he had a great legacy. He born and raised in Elba, Alabama, and his sister was a lawyer there, and she had passed away about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe, and Stan and I had gone up to the funeral and saw where he grew up and everything, and just Scott and I had a special relationship. We talked on a regular basis, once or twice a week for the last 30-something years. I really got to know Scott in the 90s, the late 90s, when I was doing the book, and he was so interested in it. And he was, if you remember, he was subbing when Red Hot went out of town or something. Red got Scott to do the show for him. He did a great job with it. He's a great communicator. People connected with him, so we talked about it. He had me come on the Red Hot show 2 or 3 times out there when they were at Channel 7, and I got a lot of people that sent information in from seeing on the show. He was very helpful. But he went to the Navy and was really good. Really liked the boats and all. Became a offshore captain and oil rig and everything. Then later came back to here. He married, had two kids, and he got a job with Joe Chapman, and he did everything with Joe Chapman. That family really loved Scott Lindsay. He ran the boat, he ran the motor home, he did all kind of things. He was just a jack of all trades, and for many years he worked with Joe and that family there. But he was a great communicator. He wrote a newspaper article, the outdoor article in the News Herald. And every week, I think it came out on Thursday. It was a Thursday because he got ready for the weekend. And a lot of times he would talk to me about it. We'd share notes and everything. And it was just a great writer. He really was. He was very interested in my book and very encouraging. Also, he actually started a TV show here on Fox 28. He, with Mark Gentry at Howard Tackle, they really started around, Jeff was just reminding me, we were just talking about it, 2004 or 2005, in that era. and it sort of morphed into. They did it, and then they got out of it, and Scott kept it going. Then Captain Roy got it, but Fox 28 was doing it the whole time, very supportive of all of us. So I ended up doing it and all. But I wrote some notes on Scott. He just well, I tell you, he loved the outdoors, and he always talking about fishing. We fished something together. I'm gonna show maybe Monday. I'm gonna pull up one of our old fishing videos, some things he did. But he loved the outdoors, and he big Auburn fan. He always loved Auburn, and always talked about it. He has two sons, Jason and Jeremy are two sons, and they live in this area. They live here, and all. And our condolences go to them. But he was. I tell you what kind of friend it was. When I went down to Gail and I went down to Boca Grande tarpon fishing. It just was one of my bucket list things, and I caught the biggest fish I ever caught in my life. When we got back, and I was so pumped up, and everybody was so excited. And Gail and I, we had to stop. We got in the car. The first person I called was Scott Lindsay to tell him about it, because I knew he would be as excited as me, because we talked about that kind of stuff and all. And I'm sure we're going to miss Scott Lindsay, but we talked about it, laughed about it, and he knew exactly every move I made. He knew exactly what I was talking about. He was that kind of friend, and he really helped people a lot. So I just want to give a little dedication of this segment of Panhandle Outdoors to Scott Lindsay, and in appreciation of everything he had done for the outdoors. And he will be missed. I will miss him. And thank you, Stan Kirkland, for letting me know about it and informing us and all. So let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, folks. Let's take a look at some pictures and some interesting facts that I've been able to pull up and share with y'all. First of all, Mike Edwards, he's one of our fishing fanatics. He is an outstanding fisherman. He sent this, and he bring it in the New Year at the creek. So he went fishing out at the creek for New Year's. Good job, Mike Edwards. He catch. You know what else Mike told me? He's going to document each one of his catches this year. That's going to be interesting. And he's going to I'm going to have him come on at the end of the year and go over what all he's done. Connor McLean, just talking about this, and Connor, I know him well to be a great young man to have on a lease. What we talked about yesterday, looking for a quality hunting lease to join this year and for years to come for deer, turkey, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Texas. And ready to start getting my son, a little boy now, and myself in the outdoors. If anyone has openings, please let me know. I would also consider buying into or purchasing a piece of property with someone if it's a decent spot. So I know Connor well, excellent outdoorsman, a good young man, and he'd be a great one to have on a lease. This came out, Jameson Scott caught this beautiful sea bass off the marker at Windmark Beach. So, that's right offshore. I mean, right there, you can see the beach from right there where the marker is. I mean, real close. In his kayak, and he released the fish after the photo because I wasn't sure of the species, and this guy's a beginner. But anyway, we're on down. You have to have a descending device, and you don't in inshore, you don't. But my question would have been okay to keep this fish, and here's my answer. Different people answer, but what you do, you see the picture right there. That's what you call a sea bass, okay, right there. Good eating, really good eating fish. So what you do, and a lot of us don't know all the fish. I mean, I try to double. So you go to your page where your apps are, and right here in the center, it says Fish Rules. Okay, so I go to Fish Rules. I hit, okay, right there. That app that I got a good while back, it had, okay, so what I do, I'll go to search, I search sea bass, so there's sea bass black, so that shows up next. And then you punch it again, you punch sea bass, okay, and this is what comes up. The picture of it right there, it tells you if the season's on the left, season's open, okay, and minimum size is only 10 inches, and the length, okay, that's the minimum size, but and not a maximum size. And also, now so that's what I'm saying. That app right there is just something really important to have. Okay. Carabel Fishing, they posted this. Here we go. Mark the calendar. June the 15th of this year, the sea quarters kingfish. They moved it up from August last year, all these years from August back up to June, and June is a good time to catch some king mackerel. So we certainly gonna try to fish it. That one-day tournament, that's a lot of fun, and you know how much money, over $1 million they've given to leukemia research. What an awesome legacy right there for the Crowder family. Okay, I showed you the state parks yesterday. I want to show you the state forest. And not near as many state forests, but look at all the things you can do. I just want to share this with you about getting out and all the different places you can hike, hunt, camp, paddle, fish, swim, ride a bicycle, different things. I need to find out too if they're biking, if they let you use motorized bikes. That's sort of a really popular thing now, these little battery-powered bicycles. I don't think you can, but it'd be interesting. I sort of hope they don't let you use them because it's better exercise to get out. Okay, here we go. This is our friend Billy Lessig. He sent me a text. Coach Chester, I'm thinking about downsizing and want to know if you or anyone who buys, I want to know if you or anyone who buys deer mounts. I have 5 nice mounts I'd like to sell. Here's his 5 mounts, okay? One, look at this. These are nice mounts Billy has. And Billy's been on my show before. You know, he's on a wheelchair. He was one that fell out of a tree stand many years ago. He's done an awesome job recovering all these years. And anyway, downsizing. They're all Florida deer. I'll let them for $150 each. I've talked to them. I'm gonna buy one. I'm gonna put it in Studio B. And here's a smaller one for $100. Be great for a man's room or some business. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. And that's, you know, a lot of people buy those now. If you remember when Gal and I went up there that week before, weekend hunting up there in right out north of Monroeville, that cabin we went in, and all those mounts on the side, and all those, they'd been passed down and bought at auctions and all, but it makes great decorations to have some kind of mounts and deer heads and all in an area like that. So I wanted to share that with you. So touch base with me. I'll tell you how to get a hold of Billy. I'll give you his email and touch base with him. So I'm gonna get one myself. Okay, now we got to get ready. Got some names we're going to add. The first drawing of 2024, and all these names, y'all. Thank you, Gail, for writing names down on all of them. And so anyway, this is like a little ritual I'm gonna go through. These are all the people that won last year. Okay, so here we go. Okay, look at all the winners we had last year. Isn't that amazing? Okay, okay. This is all the losers we had. I don't like to use the term losers. These are all the folks that did not win last year. And I don't know, so we're gonna, they're not gonna fit in here. We have a lot of interest, okay. All right, so here we go. There it is right there. So we're going to add these names. It's gonna take a minute to, but we wanna get all in. It's very important. Okay, that was last year. That's a winner from Santa Rosa Beach. Here we go, you ready? If I don't call out your name, we were swamped with them this week, so we'll try to do the best we can. Dion Khalil, Inlet Beach. Tanis Khalil, they've been loyal viewers since day one over there at Inlet Beach. Beautiful place. Mark Stafford, Callaway. Rob Haney, Port St. Joe. Debbie Harris, Panama City Beach. And Nat Harris. Nat's been with us a long time, and Debbie. Glad to have y'all still watching. Let's see, I put Rob Haney in there, okay. Sue Rogers, Camphead Road, up there close to my place. Bill Jones, Camphead Road. Pat Bing, Southport. Paul Bing, Southport. We're gonna stick together. Yep. Charlene Sowell, West Bay, along with Sammy Sowell from West Bay. Phyllis Brookins, Lynn Haven, Cliff Tiller, Panama City, Aaron McMillan, Hayhira, Georgia. Aaron, appreciate you watching us on YouTube. Hope everything's well up there in Hayhira, Georgia. Let's see, I try to fold them in half. Heather Thompson, Bayou George. Sharon Thompson, Bayou George. Chris Barnes, Cottondale. Jelena Barnes, Cottondale. Jimmy Thompson by Old George, Joanne Maxwell, Chattahoochee, and Ned Maxwell up there in Chattahoochee. There in my neck of the woods. Dennis Tatum, Panama City Beach. Material Acock, DeSoto, Georgia. AJ Acock, DeSoto, Georgia. Appreciate y'all watching on YouTube and when you're in town here. Steve Brookins, Lynn Haven. Tony Acock, Panama City Beach. Bobby Barnes, Cottondale. Tracy Acock, Panama City Beach. Lori St. Clair, Abe Springs, a cool area, Abe Springs. Brandon Danford, Millville. Ansel Levy up there at Abe Springs. Ansel been with us a long time. Recognize a lot of names. Kenny Johnson, Cottondale. Kenny Jackson, Cottondale, along with Dorothy Jackson, Cottondale. Dawson Barnes, Cottondale. And about two more. Sean Pittman, Panama City Beach, been a regular viewer, good kayak fisherman, and Caitlin Barnes, Cottondale. Okay, there you go. We got them started. So you got a lot better chance of winning with just this number of people in there. I think that's all of them. I don't see any more. So here we go. First draw in 2024. Of course, I want to thank Tarpon Dock for what they do for us. So the winner of the $20 gift certificate for Tarpon Dock is going to be from West Bay, Charlene Sowell. That's sort of appropriate. They've been in West Bay for generations, and they still eating some of that fish. So you go, the winners go right here. Charlene, congratulations. Get Sammy to run down and get you something good to eat. And the big red snapper goes to Caitlin Barnes from Cottondale. So West Bay and Cottondale are our winners. Good job, folks. And y'all send them in. Like I said, some of y'all we didn't get all of them in last night, so we'll get some more in next week and try to space it out like that. Okay. Let's take a break and come back with our famous Friday fishing forecast. Okay, welcome back and welcome to our famous Friday fishing forecast brought to us by Jessica Ling Insurance and Financial Group and Hammer Down Roofing with Matt Andrews and his hard-working folks there. We appreciate those sponsoring this segment of Panhandle Outdoors. I wrote some notes down last night. I wanted to sort of feedback on freshwater. Let's talk about what we saw in a little video yesterday that the Bill Shields put together, actually Bill didn't put it together, Cody put it together. But basically what they did is a great testimonial evidence about, we'll talk about this time of year about catching catfish on trot lines in the wintertime. You see how big those catfish were. They had a great time down at Howard Creek. Now this can be replicated on the Choctawhatchee and on the upper end of Apalachicola or lower end. It's just a really good time to catch some catfish, and I love trot lining, and I know a lot of y'all do too. So, and I admire Bill Shields for all these years. He's kept on doing it, and Cody was able to join him. I think Trey was with him too. So anyway, the catfishing is really good. Also, I talked to you yesterday about Lake Talquin, and it's those crappie. I talked about the bass and the striped bass, but the crappie, this time of year they'll get on the ledges. Okay, there's a deep drop off in some of those areas, and of course all the electronics you have, you can find those ledges where those treetops are, and they're suspended. You can see pictures of them. They'll suspend, like this is the bottom, this is the surface, and they'll suspend themselves like in one area, and that's when you drop the minnow, the live bait there. So anyway, that's I want to talk about that. And also Lake Seminole. Let's see. Let's get up here to Lake Seminole. The big thing about Lake Seminole, ironically, it was built about the same time, but it had more feeder creeks coming into it, so it's a lot bigger lake. And of course, part of that's in Georgia, but you can the fishing is good in Lake Seminole, and it's rained tonight. I don't know what effect it's going to have, but it's going to be a good time to go to Lake Seminole. It really will be right there at Sneeze Landing. Now, getting to best kind of fishing in this kind of weather. Getting a salt water and also fresh water is fishing off of a bridge. And we're talking about the East Point Bridge a lot. The Lynn Haven Bridge, I see that every day. But here, wintertime fishing off of a bridge, the big advantage of that, if the weather comes in, if you get really cold, you can walk back to the car pretty quick, or you can sort of wrap up and have a little heater right there with you. I've seen people with like a little heater on these bridges on East Point and all, so you can fish for hours. And what can you catch? You can catch sheephead and drum We've talked about it before. We use little fiddler crabs. Fiddler crabs are sort of hard to find now because they're sort of winterized and not moving around a lot. But the East Point Bridge is really, really good down there. Okay, let's move over here to here's the bridge right here. I don't know if we can pull it up. It's a little fuzzy this morning, so it's not warmed up. So other notes I wrote down: sheep's, red, and trout. Those three. I've been reading reports all through at Panhandle, and all three of those, the sheephead, the redfish, and trout, are really good fishing this time of year. We're going to try to fish some. I'm going to have some video. We're going to do some fishing this afternoon, and hopefully before the front comes through. And we're going to try to catch some red and some trout. So we'll hopefully have some video next week. So now, what else I wrote down was surf fishing. I mentioned this several times this week. Surf fishing for whiting. We talked about it yesterday. If you can, use fish bites. But if you don't use fish bites, use those little pieces of shrimp and just tip it on your hook there and move around. But with those whiting, I talked about it before, they will actually get into one area and sort of hold up. And when they hold up, you find them, it's amazing sometimes. I talked about Mr. Beach yesterday catching all those, so that's going to be good. Also, another place to go to state parks, to fish at the state parks off the St. Andrew State Park Pier. You can fish there. You can fish St. George Island, but that's another reason to buy one of those state park passes. Think about all the fishing, just not camping, but just going on fishing trips. You can get to go in free and fish at an area that don't have any houses and everything. I mean, well, what a deal. So I want to encourage you to get a state park pass and do some winter fishing. The great thing about winter fishing, and I've been there and done that, is you're sort of isolated. There's not a lot of people out there, especially early. It's too cold for people to walk on the beach, and then when people do start walking, they're sort of, walking slow and walk around you. So it's just not many people on the beach, especially in the state parks. And I know I used to go to Cape San Blas in January and February. I'd be the only one fishing. You couldn't see anybody else. You can't do that anymore in the spring, summer, and fall, but you can do it now. So anyway, time has flown that by. I've got to wrap it up. We appreciate you watching the show this week, and we ask you to support our sponsors, okay? You have a great weekend. Be careful with that bad weather. Do something good for someone else today. God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.